Live from the Point Park University Broadcast Center in downtown Pittsburgh, this is Point News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Point News. I'm Alexis Adams.
And I'm Karen Mao. Becoming environmentally friendly has become an initiative not only in Pittsburgh but all around the world.
Point News reporter Tyler Jeske set out to learn how the city, specifically Point Park University, is joining the effort.
Construction is never ending here in the city of Pittsburgh as they begin their transition from the steel city of the past to the green city of the future. What was once known as one of the most polluted cities in the U.S. is now one of the most livable cities. Construction and renovation projects are striving to make Pittsburgh one of the greenest cities in the United States. Point Park is also in the process of making their campus more environmentally friendly with the George Roland Wright Performance Center and the new Point Park Playhouse, where construction is set to begin by the end of the year.
We try to incorporate LEED aspects in all of our projects. It is difficult with renovation projects.
The Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, or LEED, is a certification program that recognizes green building strategies and practices. In Pittsburgh, there are 39 LEED certified buildings, including Point Park's George White Performance Center, which is the first university dance studio to earn LEED certification.
A little further downstream, one of the last things we actually did on that project was we put bike racks in the building. That's to encourage, obviously students and faculty and staff to use bikes as opposed to automobiles and trucks.
Reporting for Point News, I'm Tyler Jeske.
Other environmentally friendly buildings under construction in the city include the PNC Tower and the gardens at Market Square, both of which are scheduled to be completed in 2015.
Point Park University hosted its first annual Veterans Day ceremony. Crowds gathered in Village Park Tuesday to honor those who have served. I had the honor to attend the ceremony and speak with a few veterans. With flags raised and hearts full of pride, the university invited students in the downtown community to watch as faculty, staff, and student veterans were recognized for their service.
Thank you so much, brother.
Park's Army ROTC representative Sergeant Conrad Slider was the guest speaker. He began his speech with a memory from 9/11.
People running up and down the stairs and down the hallways, and I opened the door and people were screaming that the towers got hit, the towers got hit.
Refreshments were provided, giving the honorees and attendees a chance to mingle and trade stories. One veteran shared with me how he felt about Veterans Day.
Numerous awards, so it means a lot to me to see what we're getting now compared to what he got back then in terms of treatment with healthcare and all this college and education, and just the nice overall showing of support, for the veterans, because he never got that in Vietnam.
Dean of Students Keith Palo says today's ceremony is just the first of many.
Our plan is this will be an annual event every 11th day of the 11th month of every year to say thank you to our veterans.
I had the chance to write a thank you message on the banner for the veterans here at Point Park.
Point Park students had the opportunity to voice concerns, ask questions, or just had fun at the most recent event held on campus. Point News reporter Olivia Fisher has more.
For UU News, I'm Olivia Fisher, and I'm outside Lawrence Hall Ballroom where USG is holding its annual Fall Forum. So what is the Fall Forum all about?
Well, the Fall Forum is really a way for students to connect with USG in a way that's really low pressure and low key. It's part of the Student Concerns Committee, so we just really want to hear students' voices, make sure their concerns are getting heard at the university.
And dozens of students jumped on the opportunity and lined up outside Lawrence Hall Ballroom Tuesday night to voice their concerns and opinions to the USG members.
What concerns are you going to bring up to USG members concerning the university?
Well, since I'm a commuter, my main concerns aren't really the same as those who live on campus. Definitely the commuter lounge could use better couches because they're not the most comfiest thing to sleep on, but that's all I can really bring up.
I think the meal exchange hours in the Point Cafe are really inconvenient.
I think we just have one.
So what's going on inside?
Disney themes, we have music, we have movies, we have trivia, we have food going on, coloring, everything. Just, if you name it, we got it.
did you hear about the USG Fall Forum?
We saw the flyers all around, and we just wanted to come and check out, what was going on. It seemed Disney themed and looked really cool.
Well, just saw an advertisement for a couple days ago in my email account. I thought it was cool, Disney theme, why not go?
Well, if it wasn't the Disney theme, the popcorn, pizza, movies, coloring, and sword fighting sure brought in a crowd for the Fall Forum.
So, someone who's thinking about joining a club, what would you say to advocate USG?
USG is a club that would, one, we work with all the clubs. We do funding for all the clubs on the campus. And also, USG is one for somebody who really just wants to get involved and really wants to help see the university grow.
Reporting for UU News, I'm Olivia Fisher. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Olivia. Rocking out for a cause last week, Point Park's radio station WPPG held its annual event.
Course of the years, and it's basically just the ideas way back when 30 some odd years ago, and we've just stuck with it because it is a great organization to continue to help and support, and we're proud to do it even today.
Rockathon brings disc jockeys out of the studio into Lawrence Hall for 67 hours to raise money for the Early Learning Institute. This year was WPPJ's 34th Rockathon, and they say it won't be their last. The station raised nearly $400 for the Early Learning Institute.
Coming up on Point News, the weather was nice early in the week, but wintry weather is here. Jillian Trainer will join us to tell us what the rest of the weekend will be like.
We are a social people. We share our inspiration, wisdom, creations, and memories. We share what makes us laugh and what angers us. Built on the notion of a free flow of ideas, our country thrives on the freedom of speech. Without it, who would watch over our governing powers? And how would we share our history to make a difference for the future? It's this freedom to share that gives us a reason to listen.
Start your morning with City News.
Start your morning with campus news.
Start your morning with political coverage.
Start your morning with fun.
Start your morning with us, only on Daybreak.
Did you know that Point Park has a cheerleading squad?
Don't stop. Don't get it confused.
Not only do our cheerleaders represent Point Park at regional and national competitions, but they also promote spirit and awareness of every sports team on campus. Come to any men's or women's varsity basketball game at home to watch the cheerleaders perform at halftime and cheer from the sidelines from the first jump ball to the final buzzer. Sports not your thing? You can catch the cheer team lead the crowd at the fall and spring pep rallies as well, or at several competitions around Pittsburgh each year. So what are you waiting for? Show the Point Park cheerleaders the support they show you.
To me, freedom of speech means there are no barriers to voice opinions. Communication is key to a functioning society and relationships in those societies. I believe our forefathers gave us this right, so if concerns or problems arise, we have the right to respectively use words, aids, and body language to give our message. Compromise may not always be met, but when it does meet, it opens up the world to new ideas, relationships, and makes the world become a happier place.
Point Park students are on edge after a crime alert was issued just a few hours ago. University authorities say a man had inappropriately had contact with a student who was walking on Forbes Avenue near the CVS. This happened around 9 last night. University police want to remind students that escorts are available to all on-campus locations. You can call 412-392-3960 to request one.
The outbound Fort Pitt Tunnel is closing this weekend. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is beginning a $14.2 million project to remove the deteriorating ceiling, repair the walls, and more. The tunnel is closing at 10 p.m. on Friday and reopening at 6 a.m. on Monday. The inbound tunnel will remain open. The posted detour will lead drivers to West Carson Street and the West End bypass. PennDOT is warning drivers of significant traffic delays.
Kenny Chesney is coming back to Pittsburgh. The country music superstar will be returning to Heinz Field during the summer of 2015. Chesney was in Pittsburgh in June of 2013. The singer's fans left the North Shore a mess. Police also made 73 arrests. Since the concert, the city has set up several guidelines for tailgaters to follow Chesney's Big Revival Tour rolls into town on May 30th.
This afternoon, the Conflict Kitchen in Schenley Plaza is open. The restaurant closed this past weekend after receiving death threats. The takeout restaurant contacted customers on the situation via Facebook. The investigation regarding the death tolls is still ongoing.
Still to come on Point News, we went from summer-like weather to signs of winter. Your weekend outlook is coming up.
Animals Take Over the Runway, the charity that benefited from this night of fun.
Here at the Pioneers sideline, we get freshmen involved as quickly as possible so they get the real-world experience on air and behind the scenes to set themselves apart in internships and potential jobs. Blaine, where is that video? I needed it in KeyPro like yesterday.
All right, I got you, Chris. But I had a quick question for you guys.
What do you mean the
Can you
questions?
just, like,
It's always a
answer me
question.
what's
It's always a... What? Where is he? Blaine.
Blaine! Blaine!
Freshman, you can't find any good ones anymore.
Do you know all the things you can do with your student ID? Along with getting discounts to some of the restaurants around campus. Showing your Point Park ID can net you deals on tickets at theaters in the Cultural District. To check out all the current options, just search Student Discounts on the Point Park University homepage.
An expression, a belief, a symbol, freedom to worship, an unspoken word. To express yourself means standing up for what you believe in. There's a freedom to worship and freedom to live. To speak never saying a word, to love, to let your voice be heard. The light of your own path. For more information, visit www.freedomofspeechpsa.org.
Fashion shows are known to highlight the latest trends.
But imagine if adorable, adoptable pets hit the runway with the models. That's exactly what the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society did. Reporter Elena Lacatra has the story.
Sweet, fluffy little kitten Felicity hit the catwalk tonight for the Western Pennsylvania Humane Society's annual Tales on the Catwalk event. But she wasn't the only pet who hit the runway.
I've never done anything like that before, so I was pretty nervous to start with, but I had Tyson on my first run, so all the attention was totally on him, so that kind of helped.
The Western Pennsylvania Humane Society's employees and volunteers switched out their work clothes for stylish jockey fashions and hit the runway with their favorite canines and felines by their sides. In addition to the fashion show, animal lover attendees enjoyed a ladies' night out, complete with hors d'oeuvres, wine, raffle prizes, and shopping.
There's all sorts of vendors here. There's everything from jewelry and silpata to obviously jockey fashion, as well as different vendors for your home. You can get lamps, all sorts of different things. Just a nice variety for ladies, things that ladies like.
Tales on the Catwalk is one of the many events that the Humane Society hosts each year to raise money for the shelter.
We actually are an open door shelter, so we accept approximately 10,000 animals a year. And that's a lot of animals and a lot of mouths to feed.
If you're interested in adopting a pet, being a dog walker, or volunteering in some other way, you can check out WPAHumane.org. For Point Park News, I'm Elena Lacatra.
We have great news about that adorable kitten Felicity that you saw Elena holding in the beginning of the story. Elena posted a photo of her on Facebook, and a Point Park student, Ali Sukovich, saw the photo, fell in love, and went to the shelter the next morning to adopt her.
Earlier this week, we saw temperatures hover around 70 degrees. Today, we have snow flurries.
Jillian Trainer is here with our weekend outlook. Jillian?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, we basically had all 4 seasons in this one last week. And today was a really cruel wake-up call. We had 35 earlier, 40 at noon, And tonight it's going to be around 36. And I hate to break it to you guys, but I actually saw snow on my way in to work. So it's snowing today, and if we move into the weekend outlook, we're actually going to see a little bit more snow on Friday. It's a 30% chance, but they also gave it a 30% chance today. So I would be prepared. Break out those gloves, the scarves, everything. It's most likely going to get a little wet out. We have a high of 39 and a low of 27, so it's going to be cold. But as we move into the actual weekend, we get a little bit warmer with the 40s and on Saturday and 42 on Sunday, and we even get a little bit of sun on both days. Now, guys, you have to keep in mind it seems pretty bad right now, but it could always be worse. Our friends up to the north in Erie are actually expecting to get 6 to 12 inches of snow. That's just till Saturday. And they're getting single digits out in Colorado. So it's going to be cold. It's probably going to snow this weekend. Bundle up. That's the number one thing I can tell you. Be safe. Now it's going to get pretty cold. Let's see if that affects any of the sports. James Hill has more.
Well, yeah, except for the Steelers, every people play indoors, so I don't think that's going to affect them too much. But the big story we're talking about today is Pirate catcher Russell Martin and pitcher Francisco Liriano declined their $15.3 million qualifying offers. The offer is based on the average salary of the previous year's highest paid players. Martin, who is the top free agent catcher, is expected to see a $75 to $80 million contract over 5 years come his way. Now, the Pirates, they can continue to negotiate with both players, but if neither signs with the Pirates, the team will receive first-round picks in compensation. And for the second year in a row, the Pittsburgh Pirates claim their second winning season, but history it didn't repeat itself for manager Clint Hurdle, who lost on the National League Manager of the Year award after winning it in 2013. Hurdle was one of the finalists alongside San Francisco manager Bruce Bochy and Washington National management Matt Williams. Williams would go on to win, but Hurdle called it a tremendous honor to be one of the 3 finalists. And the Steelers, they faced a tough loss this past week. The Black and Gold took on the New York Jets at MetLife Stadium on Sunday, where they suffered a crushing 13-23 loss. Took everyone by surprise when Big Ben, who had 12 touchdown passes in 2 games, threw 2 interceptions. The Jets also forced 4 turnovers, and the game ended in some controversy when safety Mike Mitchell tried to time the snap by flying over the line of scrimmage. Coach Mike Tomlin, he called that last-ditch effort by Mitchell unprofessional. Now the 6-4 Steelers take on the 2-7 Tennessee Titans Monday night in Tennessee. And lastly, the Pens didn't fare any better. I don't know, we have some problem with New York right now. They took on the New York Rangers Tuesday night at Madison Square Garden, where they suffered a 5-0 loss, ending a 7-game winning streak. Sidney Crosby, he took a penalty 57 seconds into the game, and the Pens were never able to recover. They would go on to fire 33 shots throughout the game, all of which were stopped by Rangers goalie Henrik Lundqvist. Now the Pens, they're 10-3-1, and they take on the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow at 7:30 in Toronto. So guys, we had a rough couple weeks in Steel City.
Oh my goodness, it sounds so depressing. I'm just so sad for them. But that does it for this week of Point News. Be sure to join us next week, Thursday, live at 2 p.m.
Have a great week, everybody.